What's up? What's going on? Hide and read. We're here. Thanks for subscribing. We're up to like 300, maybe 2 subscribers. We'll see after this video. Not sure how you guys find this kind of content on YouTube, but I'm glad that I found this kind of stuff, and I'm happy to have you here, obviously. So, yeah, let's get right into it. My reading hasn't been as smooth as it was in the previous months of this year. So I wanted to make some content, but I don't like feeling pressed to read, to make videos for YouTube that makes like I don't work for YouTube. They don't pay me or anything, so I don't really want to feel pressed to make content. But at the same time, I like interacting. Yeah, and it's just fun. It's fun, and this is what we do. So yeah, I figured I'd make a video, not about the books I'm reading. It's kind of loose. I just figured let's talk about some nonfiction stuff that's exciting. So it's not like nonfiction, like how to un-F yourself. I saw that one a couple years ago. It was really popular. Or it's not like Deepak Chopra or any of this kind of silly nonsense that's out and about. This is history that I find interesting. I've been reading and exploring like these topics for a long time, and I plan on doing it well into the future. And it's kind of like an endless well of entertainment for me. And hopefully you have books like this too. And if not, this could maybe inspire you to find stuff like this for you. And it's going to be different. Because yeah, what interests you is not always going to be what interests me, but hopefully sometimes our paths cross. So yeah, we got a nice little spread here. And we'll jump right into samurai culture. I seem like kind of just drawn to anything Japan. For a while I was wondering, should I move there? Like, I don't know what's going on. But to be completely honest, just out of respect for Japanese culture, I don't really think that I could properly indoctrinate myself. Not that like, in America, we're very open. Like, if you come here with like an open mind and like an open heart, and you assimilate into our culture, we will consider you American. You will. It's not even consider. You will be American. That's just how it works. Other countries are not like that. I don't think there's really any way for a foreigner to become Japanese. The best that you could do is really move there and just, respect the culture, which seems like they're having a little bit of trouble with lately, just like the rest of the world. Who knows? Who knows? You never like. I'm constantly surprised by what's coming next, mostly because I have no real plans for the future. Anyway, I haven't read this one, but I was so excited when I saw it. Inazo Nitobe, Way of the Samurai. Has anybody read this? It's definitely on the shorter end of my TBR. I got to get to this year. Yeah, it's such a pretty book too. How about some samurai books I did read though? That would be better. So this isn't like a historical manual of samurai. This is more written to like inspire the Japanese people about like the Bushido culture, the art of samurai. Yamamoto Sunitomo Hagukore, which I guess is like the name of the book in Japanese. Yeah, this is really cool. It has like lots of anecdotes from history and kind of just like day in the life kind of stuff, and highlights different battles, and just does a good job of just showing like the samurai spirit, the Bushido code, and all that fun stuff. But it's not really accurate in the sense of like a source text. You wouldn't really want to use this for that. These editions I picked up Shelter Harbor Press. Can you see that? Barnes & Noble was selling these for a while. I haven't seen them sell these anymore. I have this, Art of War, Tao Te Ching, and The Prince from Machiavelli. All those books are excellent. I'm not going to show all of them in this video, but all those books are awesome. But yeah, I thought I would mention that because I think these would be really good for younger people. Like, to me, it's a little bit cheesy, because it's like every page has like these big graphics. Koi Pond. That page doesn't. Well, even this page that doesn't have graphics has, you know, the margins are done, and all the books in this series are like that. Show you. Yeah. I just think this would be an excellent way to get somebody that's younger, or yeah, mostly just younger people into this. But I just like these books. They're well bound, and unless I find better copies, better editions, I'll just hold on to these. Yeah, they grew on me. I didn't really like it at first, but yeah, this is a cool one. Very violent. Very violent, and it also talks a lot about like the seppuku, which is like the ritual suicide that they were practicing. And there's like a couple different ways to do it. Like the main one that everybody knows about is like they would gut themselves, like stab themselves in the stomach, and then pull the knife up, I think, and maybe to the left, if I remember correctly. And if this didn't go correctly, you had like one of your best friends behind you to cut your head off if this didn't go smoothly. You win. Yeah, just completely a foreign thing to us. You wouldn't be able to understand this. Modern Japanese people, I don't think, could really understand it. Maybe they can. But yeah, it's just one of those things for the boys, you know? One more samurai book. This is a book of 5 rings. Miyamoto Musashi. It's called Goren no Sho. And this is a actual sword fighting manual. Musashi is the samurai, probably best known for basically beating a man to death with a rowboat oar on a sand dune. If you read, there's the big epic book Musashi, that's pretty awesome, and there's a graphic novel series. There's all different kinds of ways to like kind of explore this historical character, Miyamoto Musashi. Anyway, he bested lots of other samurai in duels during the Edo period, when kind of the samurai culture was waning and even kind of becoming like illegal. He was still carrying swords and fighting, and it's awesome. It's great. It's great. It's kind of, yeah, and it's also sad, like kind of seeing the end of like this high level culture and society just encountering basically the West, and yeah, just ridding themselves of like this Bushido culture, which they brought back with that book that I showed you earlier. It's kind of like propaganda, that kind of stuff, to inspire the Japanese people for fighting. Yeah, just very interesting. I'm a big fan of Miyamoto Musashi. But yeah, Book of 5 Rings, there's 5 books in there. You got water, earth, air, fire, and the last one is void. And all different aspects of sword fighting are covered. Lots of spirituality, and just lots of things that you wouldn't think that people that are so invested in sword fighting would be able to like put into words, and it's really good philosophy. Like he's big on concepts like stickiness is a big one, and I've used a lot of this stuff. I've never been a sword fight in my life, but I've used a lot of these things either through martial arts or just like day-to-day stuff. You can find practical uses for it, for sure. Again, for the boys. It's probably the theme here. Let's jump a bit forward in time. I'm a big proponent of you going out and finding your local history books. This one is on the Delaware Canal. I live in New Jersey. The Delaware Canal runs like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and I would imagine Delaware. I haven't been that far, but I used to work on a farm south of here. It's like 30 miles, and I would ride my bike from my house down to the farm. Not every day, but I would like load up my bike. I had panniers and bags and stuff, and the second half of this 30-mile trip was all on this Delaware Canal towpath. You see where they have the horses and they're pulling the barges. And yeah, I would ride my bike down this path all the way down to Princeton, New Jersey. I haven't read this book, but I know a little bit about the path, the towpath, just from being on it, like I said, quite a few times. And yeah, I really think the local history is important, and also you can interact with it, and if you're really lucky, you can find old people that can tell you things that you didn't know about and aren't even in books, and maybe you would even feel so inspired to write them down. Here's one that I'm reading currently. Fritz Eichenberg. Didn't know about this guy. Works of Mercy. He's a German Protestant, but he left Germany when the National Socialist Party came into power, and he moved to the U.S. and became a Quaker. But he's not typical to Protestants or Quakers. He is very interested in like the symbolism and the iconography and just like the theology of Catholicism, which if you're a Christian, I'm not Catholic. I would never was, but if you're a Christian and you're ignoring all the Catholic stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, they have some of the best books, they have some of the best art, and the difference between your religions is probably not exactly what you think it is. So I would just suggest you go check that out. But yeah, he teamed up with this woman, Dorothy Day, who was like big on community outreach and service. Bhagavad Gita. This is a translation from this gentleman, Swami Sivananda. I don't know anything about him or his spiritual practice, but he was so kind that he included the Sanskrit and then word by word does like a literal translation, which is very useful if you're trying to learn Sanskrit at all. And then he does a commentary, which I'm less interested in, but is also helpful a lot of the times. If you're interested in reading Bhagavad Gita, I highly recommend this one. I don't think I've seen anybody else talking about this translation. I think it's excellent. It's a lot better than the more common ones that you'll find, and I've read them. And you can also just look at the Sanskrit if you're kind of questioning like the translation, like that doesn't make a lot of sense. You can look into the Sanskrit and figure out what they're saying. Unfortunately, there's no Roman English translation, so you won't really be able to sound out the words unless you already know the alphabet. And that's just like a whole nother thing. But you could definitely learn a little bit of Sanskrit, which is one of the bases for all of the languages that we use, basically. Mostly anybody watching this video, anyway. And also, it's a great story. It's a really cool story. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but it really just talks about everything. It's like a manual about you and your life, and how to approach everyday life and also the big problems that you'll have. And it's also just this epic story of war. And even this story, Bhagavad Gita, is just it's like a scene inside of a much larger story, Mahabharata. And it's just like this giant familial epic. People get really worked up in America, like we don't really understand what Aryan means, and that this is actually the Aryan culture in the Bhagavad Gita, and you can read all about it. It's pretty awesome. Okay, and just to show off a little bit, I am working on my it's more broadly known as Punjabi, but more specifically, I'm learning Gurbani in Gurmukhi script. And I do have a teacher, and she's very patient with me because I don't pick things up the way that I think the majority of people do. Like, it's very difficult for me. It's a lot easier for someone to just give me something and say, go over there and just do this 1,000 times, like Bart Simpson writing on the chalkboard. That's just, for better or worse, how I learn. And yeah, so let's see, I'm hoping that maybe in a month or two, I'll have some kind of proficiency. There's a lot that I could understand, and I'm beginning to, I don't have to translate anything because of the way that I'm learning, but I can understand stuff now. So that's been nice. And I've been working on that off and on for a while. So these are the poems of Kabir. He's we'll just say an Indian saint, even though there really is no such thing as India, except for now, but then there was no India. But yeah, in that area. And people don't really know, is he Hindu? Is he Muslim? What's going on with this guy? Is he like an atheist? Even Hindu is not like an actual thing. It's just something that we made up to understand and like put all these different practices into categories for our minds to understand. But yeah, he's neither of those, and he would like preach and spend time with like people in both of those religions. So he wasn't unfriendly, but he also rejected a lot of the practices that were common in society then and now. And so he's like kind of like this counter culture type of figure. I like Kabir a lot. Maybe you've read Rumi before. Rumi's kind of like that. Kabir is more he's mystical, but he's not Kabir is like more of the people. Like, he's more grounded, I feel like. Rumi is kind of majestic. So yeah, anybody into poetry? I'm not actually that into poetry. I just find myself reading some of it sometimes. I don't know. Anyway, now we're talking about like different cultures and trying to understand them. It's really important that when we look at these other cultures, one, even today, if we went to these geographic locations, we wouldn't really understand how the people are thinking. And it's just, we have, and I'm talking about like Western society, we have like this idea that everyone wants the same stuff, everybody thinks the same thing, and everything that we think is positive for everybody else. It's not really the case.
Why the people of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
And it's really hard. That's like our modern myth, basically. So trying to break that up as much as possible. Yeah, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. I don't know if I'll ever be able to escape it, but I feel like that's in this time. Like if we're reading history and interacting with stuff, I think it's time to start doing that. It doesn't mean that and I'm not saying every culture is equal to the other, or not at all. I don't think like that at all. But just to understand that you can't really place yourself like like if you went back and you were hanging out with Jesus, the apostles, you're not even going to be able to think how they're thinking. Like the stuff that you see, you won't be seeing it in the same way. They have like a lot of background and just day-to-day experience that you're just not hip to, even though you might be well-read and well-versed. It's just the way it is. But yeah, I've been reading Decline of the West, which is why my reading has drastically slowed down, by Oswald Spengler. He is a German philosopher, and that's mostly what he's talking about, is like how mostly it's the difference between the classical age and our modern one, and just how people experience time, and why people weren't so keen to record events. Like now, in our modern society, we put everything in some kind of order. Like everything has to be related to something else. Nothing really exists by itself. And our obsession with time and lots of stuff like this. And he just goes through and cites different philosophers and different scientists, and yeah, it's not an easy read. This is the second time I picked the book up. I really couldn't get past like the first 100 pages. I'm a little bit further than I was the first time. Pretty dedicated to finishing it this time. Like I said, this is only volume 1. So the first time I read this, I'm not really planning on understanding everything, but I expect to read it a second time more carefully. And yeah, with a title like that, I mean, I just figured it's about time to read this. And yeah, brings us to the next one. Shahnameh, the Epic of Persian Kings. Persia is what we keep calling Iran. So this is like China's like this too, where the culture is so ancient that they have just like this huge lineage of like kings, and to us, when we look back, it's like fantastic, and there's like demons and magic and all this kind of stuff, and so I think a lot of times kind of like write it off as being like fanciful or fictitious, and I just don't think about I don't think about mythology and even fables and stuff. I don't think of them as fictitious personally. I'm not saying that that's exactly how everything happened, but in my opinion, this is how people were recording the truth. And just because our modern minds don't really understand it doesn't mean that it's not true. Like for some reason, we expect that people a long time ago were able to see like the mythology of their own times, and you can't identify it. That's why it's so captivating. Why did nobody bother to climb up Mount Olympus and see what was going on? Anyway, Shahnameh is really cool. It's the epic of the Persian kings. Yeah, and it starts off with this really bad guy, and he's the son of the current king, and he kills his father because this demon came and basically told him to do that. And then this demon kind of becomes his tutor, and he eventually grows these snakes out of his shoulders, and he's like a tyrant. And yeah, it's a good story. It's really cool, and that's just the beginning. So check it out. There's a couple things for you. Hopefully something sparked your interest. Maybe you like to read stuff like this, but from a different culture, and you could tell me what you're into. I just thought this would be more interesting than just like straight history books, which are fun too. But I think a lot of times when we think about nonfiction, it's like we feel like we're going back to school or something. And it doesn't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be that way. So until next time, find something to read, find somewhere to hide. Maybe that's backwards. I don't know. Peace.